Boy, this is just a special place. Goes back to the late 1940s. Here we are once again with Jamie McMurray, Parker Kligerman. I'm Adam Alexander. You know when you come here and it's an elimination race, you can have some chaos, Jamie.
Absolutely, and for me, I think about the weather this weekend. Martinsville's, boy, it's a cool time of year. See a lot of action at this track, a lot of hurt feelings. You have to leave your emotions at home coming to Martinsville. You look at some of these late race restarts and what we've seen over the years. It's called carnage. A lot of mad people, a lot of retaliation. This is the end of the race. Earlier this year, you see Austin Hill. I looked, was running 10th with 10 to go. Of course, ended up winning the race. All those guys get together.
And one of the reasons that things get out of hand here, Parker, is because you're trying to make it to the championship four. Here's the point setup going into tonight's race.
Yeah, you take all the pressure in the playoffs, you condense it down into a half-mile paperclip, and what do you get? What Jamie just took you through, all the moments that we've seen here. Look how close this is for Carson Kvapil and Sammy Smith. Just 11 points between those two. For Brandon Jones, 20 back, Sam 22, Sheldon Creed 41. We know it's a must-win for Sheldon. Brandon Jones and Sam Bear would need some serious help for being able to do it on points, but it's that those points are being counted for every one of those drivers, and it just ratchets up the pressure, and the opportunity to make a lunge, to break super late, to get into someone's bumper is on offer often, and that's why we see what we've seen here.
Non-playoff drivers undefeated in the round of 8, 2025. Almirola got it done in Vegas. Last week, Austin Hill. Maybe this guy could get it done tonight, keep that string alive. Taylor Gray, incredible here in the springtime. We show the clip, but he was 2 turns away from getting the checkered flag, led 87 laps.
Good job all race long, had multiple restarts at the end, was able to get away. Anything wrong in that instance?
He was in front of him, that was the problem.
Right.
What was heartbreaking, though, for Taylor Gray is you rewind to a year ago, and he's in a similar position to go to the championship four in the Craftsman Truck Series and gets nudged out of the way by Christian Eckes, who was already in position to go. So he's dealt with it a couple of times here. You feel like the place maybe owes him 1 or 2, and he's someone certainly that we'll keep an eye on here tonight. Talk about the trucks. He's going to be full-time next year. Was racing here last night and got a top 10. Brendan Queen back in that 11 as he rounds out the season with Team Colleague.
What a cool fall time for him, post, winning the ARCA championship, and just, I kind of remember this phase of my career so vividly, and there's so many new experiences as you go to the trucks, getting this opportunity Xfinity Series with Colleague Racing, and knowing that he has a full-time ride. It's got to be so much fun for Brendan Queen to have these opportunities and to experience these different race cars in different series, as he knows without the pressure of thinking, oh, I've got to find a ride. He's already got one, so it's just a lot of fun and great learning experience.
Well, and the fact that we obviously won the ARCA championship, but he's got to be in a lot of different types of vehicles over the past 2 months and in them on a regular basis, and I think that just as a driver, you sharpen your craft so much, being whether it's in the truck or the Xfinity car. This will be his 4 starts so far, so it's a good time for him to learn, and he's a short track guy, and very interesting is that everyone grew up racing short tracks. This place is a challenge, though. You see even some of the best struggle at this track.
Brendan Queen second off the truck. Let's get more with Kim Kuhn.
Yeah, and Adam, Jamie mentioned it being his 4th start of the season in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, but of those 4 starts, he feels more prepared for this race than any of his previous 3 starts. He told me yesterday in the garage he has so much comfort here, having raced 10 or 11 years straight in late models. Now, he did note the late model car is very different at Martinsville, but just pulling off pit road and knowing what to expect out of this racetrack goes a very long way for somebody with as inexperience as he has in the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Chris Rice making an early appearance.
He found the camera.
Coverage.
He found it.
It looked like that was more, to be fair, it looked more like that was the camera.
We do not want to be fair.
Did he position himself near a camera?
That's right.
And the cameras have found the 18. normally piloted by rookie William Sawalich. We send our well wishes to William in the concussion protocol after that hard hit last week in Talladega. It's going to be Justin Bonsignor driving the 18 here in Martinsville. Let's rewind last Saturday Talladega Super Speedway.
That's so interesting too, Parker. It's like 18 looked like he was going to miss the wreck. The car shoots up from the bottom. You see all four tires come off the ground and he made that impact.
And that's one of the more brutal hits because you have the car coming from the inside that smushes you between the car. Yeah, smushes.
Squish.
Squish? Yeah, I don't know.
Smush.
It smashes you between that car and the wall, which is where in your, when you're inside the race car, it's a very violent hit. It might be a hit you're not expecting, and it's very sudden.
Totally. Yeah.
So that's, one of the more vicious hits you can have in NASCAR for sure. And I think a very mature, situation by William Sawalich to say, hey, I don't feel 100%, to go talk to doctors and have that conversation and to make that decision to be out of the race car through concussion protocol, I think is a really mature thing at his young age.
How about this guy? Already got a win with Martinsville this weekend. Won the modifieds on Thursday night. Yeah. He's got to feel really good coming here.
Second in the championship, though, going for his fifth. Austin Beers gets the crown there. Leading the way in practice, Ryan Sieg, 18 minutes to go.
A 20-car gap. You come here outside, 10 back, 45, 5 back, coming outside, big, quickly.
Some of these other cats did, but there's a couple laps that you charge it and you have to put wheel to it. Okay, you would slide the nose. But you don't look like you have the chatter in the front like a lot of them guys do. So I don't think your entry, I think just being consistent down there was what I would say is the biggest thing.
Yeah, like it looks all right. If you can charge it or overcharge it, but when you get to the center, if you can roll the same speed every time, that's the key. Especially in 3, it looks like. But you were pretty good for the most part with it. Just shear when it's tight middle, it just shears the right rear up blade. Yeah, guys are tight in there.
Where 1 and 2 you can run a bigger diamond and bigger shape and entry. For 3 and 4 you have to be a little more straighter, but right now I don't really see anybody migrating with it being such a fresh racetrack in 1 and 2 like they did last night.
Yeah, copy. I think the biggest thing is just because of being under braking.
If you can't fucking talk for an hour, god damn. Alright, go try this. Make sure you turn the brake fans on.
I'm sorry about that, Mike.
Alright.
Good moments on the racetrack. Here's Corey Day driving the 17. Made his debut here in the springtime. And you think about the growth that he's gone through from when we raced here back in the regular season to now at the top 5 at Las Vegas, the top 10 at St. Louis, and just seems to continue to take steps in the right direction. And he's driving for the right team here, Hendrick Motorsports. What a legendary place this has been for HMS.
And Vegas was incredible. Like I thought, really took a huge step at Las Vegas in his last race. This is a whole different animal, though. You think about Vegas wide open constantly. This is about discipline of managing your brakes, entry to the corner, getting as close to the curb as you can, but don't hit the curb. There's just a whole lot to try to learn in a short amount of time for him here.
But to his benefit, this is the first time he's returning to a track all year long in the Xfinity Series. So ran here earlier this year, has a little bit of experience here. So all those things that maybe he put in his notebook from the last time, and I remember him being fairly quick last time, had a few altercations on the racetrack, as did basically the entire field. So I wouldn't put that on him by any means, but no, his progression has been great to watch. He's definitely continually improved each and every time we see him out there. And Vegas was a tremendous run, and you know that just had to instill a ton of confidence in him to feel like he's really starting to figure out these stock cars.
You know, if the question were asked today, is there a doctor in the building, the answer would be yes. Dr. Patrick Starpoli, back in the 24 for Sam Hunt Racing, made his debut at Martinsville in the spring, finished 16th, 15th in the truck race last night, an eye surgeon, and has really done a nice job in this part-time effort for Sam Hunt Racing. And speaking of SHR, there's some news in camp. Let's get an update with Kim.
Yeah, that 24 car for Sam Hunt Racing will go full-time racing in 2026 with Harrison Burton behind the wheel. So, Harrison, 2 races left with AM Racing before you make the leap to Sam Hunt Racing. Why is it important, though, to finish the season strong before you jump teams?
Yeah, I think for us, we're competitors, right? I mean, I've got a whole race team behind me that's believed in me, and I believe in them still. And obviously, a lot of things happen in this sport, and there's a lot of business decisions that get made, but you know, on the AM side, I'm still in great terms with everyone, and we owe it to each other to kind of go out here and make our dead-on tools Ford Mustang as fast as Xfinity Mobile and try and have a great showing, right? For us to go out and have a chance to win a race, and that's all you need. We'll put that in front of us, we'll go get it.
All right, we'll see Harrison again in the next 2 races, finishing off his season for 2025 with AM Racing before making the jump full-time in that second car for Sam Hunt Racing in 2026.
Thank you, Kim, and I'm so glad that announcement's out there because I had heard that rumor a couple of weeks ago, and I've almost said it on air like 50 times.
I think it's happening all year.
You know, the 18 and the 54 have 30 laps, and they're running comparable times as you. You're 10 laps older tires, but in our group of people, you're way above the rest on those lap times with those tires.
Copy.
Some of these guys seem to let off a lot earlier on entry, kind of open up their entry for that center, see if that might help you for a lap or two, help it turn a little bit in the center.
Copy. We're good when you get clear.
All clear. You're ready to go right now. Come on in. How much there? What else do you want to do here?
We gotta fix your radios or something. Someone's keying up in the car. We don't know. It's weird. Say again what you're saying.
It's like I can't withstand any pre or entry. That's why I made the comment my lever would be great right now just to help my entry some. Copy.
Focus on making it cut in that area. If it cut and it's straight, it'll instantly have more drive. You know what I'm saying? Because he'll be able to be straight instead of having wheel in it.
Going to be full-time again in his sophomore campaign, and I think that is enormous for him because you think about all the steps he's taken in year one driving this Toyota for Sam Hunt. You know, he was top 10 here earlier in the campaign. Really, really good opportunity for he and everyone in that organization.
That car screams America.
Oh, it's patriotic.
An eagle, big set of pipes on the side of it.
I think we saw this same scheme back in Charlotte in the May race there. That was a similar scheme that they had with the patriotism in full effect. But very cool. And Dean has definitely taken a lot of strides. Oh, we got a little issue here by Snyder.
Hang on. Maybe a little brake lock up, maybe a little wheel hop on the entry. I don't.
Yeah, he didn't want to like hurt the tire or something, so he just released the brake and tried to run it up the track a little bit.
Rolling over and kind of losing.
Maya 8th right now. Saw Thompson on track, 6th on the board in practice. Good to see Mike getting an opportunity. You know, whenever he comes over and runs, always very competitive. See him quite frequently here at Martinsville. Real good road racer as well. And you saw in the graphic there, does have one career win driving for Richard Childress Racing a handful of years ago. Got it done in Miami.
Not setting you up here, but what is that sponsor? Sour what? What is this?
Good game.
Sour good game. Good game? Yeah, GG. Is that like a Halloween? I don't know if it's good game, but GG is that a Halloween candy? What do you think that is?
It's a very Halloween
Sour Boys.
I love
Sour Boys, but GG is good game.
Usually
Well,
in gamer talk.
Parker's apparently their marketing program.
Well, I do like sour candy. So speaking of my thing, I think he always looks at Martinsville as an opportunity. He's run that late model race here many times. He's ran great here in trucks. I walked the track with him maybe a year or two ago. He taught me all sorts of things about Martinsville I didn't even know existed out there. So I think he always views this place as a huge opportunity.
I think a lot of people look at Martinsville as a short track and slow and simple. And it's anything but that. I think it's one of the most challenging tracks that on the NASCAR schedule. It's just that transition from asphalt to the concrete, the bumps, how, I mean, from an aerial view, it looks very symmetrical, but it's not. Turn 3 race is totally different than turn 1. I mean, to me, you've seen some incredible drivers struggle their whole career to this track.
Sour Boys is a plant-based sour candy. I've got the information for you.
And now you know the rest of the story.
Yeah. And well, I think one of the toughest things to do here is qualify. And I'm sitting next to a guy who's won the pole for the Cup Series twice here. And I say that because for all the reasons you mentioned, this place being tough, qualifying, the difference between a good qualifying lap and a bad one can be the tiniest little thing. And there's so many, how many times you got done with a qualifying lap here and looked at the date or whatever, and you're like, oh, I was on the pole until turn 3. Oh, and then I went 1 mile an hour too fast in the middle, and I'm 10th.
Yeah, okay. We'd always would drive up here. We take a look at Anthony Alfredo had the fire on the left rear. Apparently it wasn't that bad. They got to put out and going on probably some rubber. Maybe he got stuck down in the rotors. We're going to talk about how hot the brakes get here. We're going to focus on how hot the fronts get because you can see them glow most of the time, but all 4 corners working so hard at this track.
You referenced qualifying and the importance of it. We've had some upsets here, including a year ago when the front row was Parker Retzloff on the pole, and we just saw Anthony Alfredo starting on the front row and ended up finishing 7th on a Saturday afternoon race.
Like sometimes I just slide news and then right there just step out on entry. Like I don't think we're bad. I just don't know what's going on there.
One of the cool down
He's got a reference in the balance of that car, and that is Martinsville because the corners are so slow. We talked about the front maybe not turning enough, but then on the brakes maybe it was sliding the back a little bit. And even though the corners are extremely slow here, it's just it's so hard to get a hold of this racetrack.
What's up,
We
Kim?
don't have to worry about a hot pit road, though.
Yeah, that wasn't the only complaint he had about his car. You guys mentioned brakes. Here's what Brendan said about the brakes earlier.
Do you want me to keep running or not? I'm having a lot of brake shake, and I can feel like the front end loading and unloading on entry causing me to be tight, and then I'm lacking drive because of that.
So the brake shake is very normal for here, and when we talk about, or we're going to reference how hot the rotors get, they have to get hot to get the brake shake to go away. And there was a time that you thought the heat was making the shake, but now if you don't run enough laps when you pull out and the brakes don't get hot enough, you get that shake. And Parker, for me, that always made you tight. Like you get on the brakes and you could feel the wheels shake like in your hand, but it also seemed to affect the balance of the car.
It does, and the one thing it also does is he talks about the front sort of engaging and disengaging. When you get that shake and you're not entering the corner with the perfect amount of load, the front end, you try to time the front ends and the way the suspension is set up to have the peak amount of grip and load right as you get to the point of the center of the corner. And if the entry phase is wrong, the front end can kind of bounce on itself a little bit, and that causes more handling issues as well. So all those things compound.
You hear everything he's fighting.
All clear. Get up there with speed. Back or a little disconnected. I think if we could fix that like rear lateral, it'll help that landing at the quarter mark and that late exit too.
What he's saying is he's still free at quarter mark, right? On 2?
Team cars that have went 20 laps. P1 is average is a 61, you're at a 68, okay?
4. There is one more in there, yeah.
We can try it, put it back for qualifying if we have to.
Yeah, 10-4. Coming out.
Probably because you got so much wheel in it.
Rear brake.
10-4.
Keep the front end engaged. I just need it to be, it needs to be wanting to stay in the front tires more. So I don't know if that was a bar load thing, the sim that I like, but something like that just keeps them engaged for longer.
Yeah, we did your bar load change, the first change.
Drag your feet just a little. We'll fill in behind the 26. Roll through 1 and 2. All good right there. Roll through 1 and 2, then we'll bring it to them.
Come back.
Blaine's going to want lap times during practice, so I can give them to you on 2, and you can give them to him down the back. I don't want to give it to him in the middle of the corner, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that'll work. That'll probably be easier than me trying to find it on the screen.
10-4, sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, just it feels extremely flat from inside of the car, and that's what makes it so challenging here. You know, the flatter the track, the less grip you have. See a little bit of a brake lock up right there from Austin Green. I just can't praise him enough for that run that he had at the Roval. And we talked about seeing his dad in the garage earlier that day, and it's been a lot of fun to watch him try to follow in his family's footsteps.
Let me ask you guys this question. You were talking about what it takes to be successful at Martinsville. And Austin right now is 19th, so not a ton of speed there. But we know he's a great road racer. You referenced what he did, that career best at the Roval. I've always felt like there was a connection between drivers that are really good road racers and how they attack this place. Why is that? Because sometimes those stat lines do kind of overlay one another.
So I've heard that before, and I've seen that play true with maybe a guy like AJ Allmendinger, right? Really good road courses, really good at Martinsville. But it never worked for me. So I was just confused by that because I couldn't at all get the speed. Agree with you, but I know. I just like and people say that like,
but you're one of the people that I would have lumped into that category.
Yeah, I don't think that's anything. I don't. To me, this is like a rhythm. Yes, it's very similar to. I mean, Bristol's a rhythm with minimal brake, where this is just getting in a rhythm and lifting early and not overdriving the entry of the corner. I don't know that it relates to road course at all, but people tend to put it in that category.
I think the first time I went here, I can remember vividly thinking like, well, it's just 2 hairpin corners. Basically, so tackle it like you would a road course. So it means drive to the latest point you can brake, smash the brake, get the car stopped in the middle, and turn it back up the, exit the corner. That's not the way to drive this place at all. It's the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do here. You'll be far more successful lifting at that start-finish line and using minimal brake and rolling as much speed as you can around this place as opposed to tackling it like a road course. So it's and that's what makes it so finicky, because it can sort of be enticing to really smash the brake and try to roll a ton of speed, and it doesn't pay off for a reason.
Almost done with practice 1. Let's get a Taylor Gray update with Dylan Welch.
Yeah, they're on their second long run here, and we have some radio to describe what they were trying to fix after their first run. Take a listen.
Like he was a splitter also, like maybe, but he was just
I feel like once the track took rubber, it hurt my rear grip more. It's like as soon as my rear tire would get in the rubber, I would just struggle tying across like wrapping the curb, just could not wrap the curb tight, and then would lose rear drive on exit from having a bunch of wheel into it trying to wrap the curb.
yeah, for sure, always the first problem.
I always hear that as the rubber gets laid down here. It changes the track a lot from Group 1 to Group 2 practice and for the later qualifiers as well. So something to keep an eye on for later.
Yeah, and the other thought is how different this track is going to be. Jamie referenced, cool mornings here and all that. We're going to be down in the 40s for the race tonight. Will it take rubber? And how much does what we have seen here in practice equate to what we'll experience in the race this evening? Practice 1 is complete.
I'm going to come back a little bit and do a couple other things that are easy to undo in the race. That adjustment right there is just about undoable. It is undoable in the race, so I don't want to fight it. 10-4.
Yeah, I mean, it has that rubbered up feeling where you can feel it literally in the wheel where it's inconsistent, a little shaky stuff. It has that feeling. I don't want to lead you one way or another too far.
Yeah, 10-4. Make sure your brake fans are off and everything. Yep.
Been the best it has been and not getting loose on entry, but still I feel like we're missing something, you know?
We'll look at it and see here.
I'll be relaying to Banesh.
Copy. Just make it easy on yourself, Duncan. Rather losing time on entry, losing time on exit, or losing time with too low of mid-speed, right? So make it easy on yourself.
10-4.
Right.
No.
See if you can pop the hood. Look at the masters. Make sure it's fluid in the masters. And like if I pump it, it gets pedal and it's hard. And then if I leave it sit for a second, then it goes to the sails right back to the floor. I think it'll work here without, maybe, I think. Yeah, maybe we'll just leave it and you'll just have to turn it on. Okay. By just being more committed to the bottom and having his timing really good from transition from brake release back to throttle and just getting all that dialed in. So all that makes sense to me. It's kind of similar to my game plan here. So where I noticed some of that transition as well. I'll keep up with it on this. I'll let you know how it changes here. Got a minute 15 until we roll. Copy. Yeah, they're not going to let you go out there with no brakes.
Channel 2. I'll place the other one on channel 2.
We have 1 minute, so all good to go when we have time, when we get released.
10-4, if you're on the brake, go ahead and pull your hammer. Do it after we put it on the ground. Make sure I don't forget. Rear caliper.
Got it. So the actual caliper switch is just front.
Few feet up, turning down as they go. A lot of guys get to the bottom late in 3 like you did before here. That was the fast way, using the rubber with the left sides and right sides, different techniques here. 8 seconds, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Track is green, come on. Now as they're leaving, scrub tires.
Yeah, get some heat. They should roll off pretty slow, I'm assuming. That's 4.
You're ready to use your brakes up.
Still got about 6 more to roll off the end of pit road.
Let's bleed the brakes and try to... What? Need somebody to get in the car. Hickory.
Close right front shock, 5 clicks. We still good on that even air pressure, or do we need to adjust it? Good? Okay. I'm going over
the
the wall.
grip is obviously plays an enormous role in that, and something that we'll be talking about all night long. Again, coverage for the round of 8 ender comes your way. CW 7 o'clock.
And cool textures make that tougher even itself, because it sometimes won't rain that rubber and sort of thing. But were you going to point out they're picking it up there?
Well, I mean, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
It's like literally you get a tires width as soon as they drive across it. And for these guys, you got to get that cleaned off, right? I mean, like you run around there and it gets built up.
That's what he's doing right there.
They're getting heat in and trying to get that a little bit of that built, cleaned off the tire.
That's exactly what Carson Quappo was doing, is he weaves that car back and forth. He sees that rubber being picked up. You can sort of see it start to disappear in the cars in front of you, and so you're thinking the same thing. Get heat in the brakes, get heat in the tires, and clean them up so that when you start going, you don't sort of slide them a ton and sort of hurt that tire early on.
And I love when you come here and it's hot, because that rubber doesn't get picked up as quick, and it almost builds a layer. And though that layer is probably only a quarter of an inch tall, it feels like a mountain when you drive across it. And the amount of grip that you lose when you hit the rubber, it just makes it a whole new challenge for these guys as you try to get around it.
It's really funny. It was like they were under caution, and now the green flag is out. Look, though, at the bumper, round of 8 standings. Carson Quappo into 1, plus 11, gained 33 points to the cut line at Talladega. But maybe what's the biggest factor in all of this? He was second, and he owns the tiebreaker as of now, because it's
in to stay attached to his rear bumper, but as they came off of 4, they got disconnected. He still had a ton of momentum, but just not enough to get beside the 21 car there of Austin Hill. If the 7, he could have stayed connected there off of 4 better. I really think he might have gone into this race thinking, I am locked in.
Yeah, the other side of that, it was good to see Austin Hill finally get a win on a drafting track. It's been a struggle throughout his career to be able to run well at those type tracks, so good for him.
New experience for him.
Yeah.
Sammy Smith comes in. He had a great week last week, too. Top 10, got stage points, and gained on the cut line. But he's still 11 below as we enter this elimination race tonight. And here you see the team comparison. So right now, the tiebreaker would go to Carson Quappo with that runner-up finish from last week. And, of course, tonight could change all that as well. But the bottom line is these 2 young drivers have really been impressive, and it's hard to imagine that they're not going to qualify up front, because Junior Motorsports is always good here in qualifying. They'll probably race up there. They both have a good history at this track, whether you're talking about Xfinity or other series, and then we'll see how it all plays out at the end of the night. But plenty of drama coming for both of them, I would guess.
I think, and for Carson, Sammy Smith's going to be tough tonight. I mean, Sammy's run extremely well at this racetrack, and the other thing we've seen is that he's willing to do what it takes to win. We saw it in the spring race here, and I think zero doubt that if he has to move somebody on the last lap in order to advance to Phoenix next week and race for a championship, I think we know that he's willing to take that chance.
You think about the playoffs for Sammy Smith, and it has been anything but normal. Starts at -11, and then they run out of fuel late and have to come down, lost some positions there.
But once again, the team was prepared for it. They beat the pace car there, was able to stay on the lead lap. So it's just like each and every time you think these guys are out of the 8 car, and they fight back. That Roval moment was incredible, and I think that Talladega moment was very similar in the way that it played out for them. And I think he will be really good tonight. Like, there's no doubt. And I think for Carson Quappo, that team, I spoke to Andrew Overstreet, the crew chief there, and he gave me a pretty succinct term. He said, fill the bucket. Fill the bucket of points in those first 2 stages. That's their goal, because as long as they keep the 8 in check points-wise, that really puts him in a better position going into stage 3.
Brandon Jones, 20 below the cut line. Won in the playoffs at Kansas to get in to the round of 8. And he's won here at Martinsville. Did it in 2022 in rather dramatic fashion and nearly won the race in the fall that year to make it to the championship 4. Moved out of the way on the final lap. And you know he wants so bad to go out and get it done, and very capable here tonight.
And this has been a great track for JGR in general, Joe Gibbs Racing. If you take a look back, this is what you were referencing. Of all people, your teammate. And I was already like, listen, yeah, no doubt that we could see that again tonight. We had all those green-white checkers, and those guys just kept playing back and forth. One would move, the other, he'd get another caution, then the next guy would. I thought Brandon handled that well that night. It's so hard to have your teammate do that, but he's done a great job this year, and obviously he's not in a must-win, but that car is capable of winning, and I think very similar to what you'll see in the Cup race on Sunday. All of the guys below the cut line realistically could win tonight. It's not like you know, sometimes you come to these tracks, you're like, well, historically he hasn't been well here. All of these guys, I think, have a legitimate shot at being able to win the race tonight.
Sam McCauley, the crew chief. This duo's won twice this year. Darlington, we mentioned Kansas. Talk about the fact he's won here. Brandon also really good at Phoenix. So if they can find their way into the championship race, he is someone that could go out and get it done next weekend, no doubt.
Got a spinner here down here, it looks like. See all those guys getting. Oh,
hey, look who it is.
Oh,
Connor Zilch.
Probably a wheel hop.
Yeah. This was into turn 1, and definitely think we're gonna, when we get a chance to look at it, we're gonna see a wheel hop situation, trying to brake late. All that reason you said it relates to a road course, Adam.
Although that
that's
like,
pushed in.
Looks like he's had some contact. Maybe that was when he spun with the wall.
I think so, because this happens pretty early into the corner.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I hit the brake, I wheel hopped, and I couldn't save it.
Oh, he broke it down for us.
And so I think, listen, let's go back. You mentioned road course guy being good at Martinsville. As we take a look right here, he said as soon as he got on the brake, just kind of along for the ride. But the reason I bring that up is that
was pretty good contact, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Really good, hard contact. But you mentioned the road course reference. He's as good under the brakes at a road course as anybody, period. And here we see that he's had this wheel hop and has made a mistake. So I just think that tells you like there are a lot of differences with the braking technique here versus what you see at a road course, and going to be a little bit of work for the 88, Adam.
Marty Lindley doesn't seem too stressed out. This team started on the pole at 100 laps.
Got going there, I think. So.
Give you more front positivity there. Drop the track bar a little bit just to help secure you. Simple. Just being lucid, disconnected the entire corner. I don't know if it's the fair read as much as we were counter steering for the rest of it.
Just carries it on exit, but entry very similar to him. A little bit better entry to 3 he is with less brake at the 1/3. But everything you're talking about is exactly where we need help speed-wise. Here, there you go. Thank you.
And then 2 green right now, 2 green all the way out. Next one at speed, middle 1 and 2 behind the 19. Gap of 4 behind him, let him come around. 5 back from him to 4. Coming around outside, we're good behind the 4, let's go. Green, 2/10 better, good. Is your tightness the same in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4? Very similar, yep. It does seem like if I'm at my max height and I go to pick up some throttle, it kind of pushes me up a little bit higher as well. Information for that.
Yes.
We'll be blended in.
We'll see if they can get everything where it needs to be for qualifying, and they'll be late in the session, obviously, as all the playoff guys go at the end. We transition from one playoff driver to another. Zilic locked into the championship for Sheldon Creed to must-win after getting his 8th DNF of 2025 last weekend at Talladega.
And he could do it. You know, you think about a couple years ago, between him and Austin Hill, he was in position to win this race. So we know he's had so many second-place finishes, but it only takes one to get himself to go fight for a championship. I spoke to this team yesterday, and the goal is clear. They just have to go win, and they're going to flip every stage they possibly can. This is back at Bristol to start the playoffs. Had a little bit of contact there, then fought back to that to be so close to Eric Almirola in the last lap.
Where did he finish in that race?
Second.
Yes, he did.
This was Talladega. Massive damage here through the travel, that wreck that occurred. There's a little bit of checkup early on the race. He didn't want to get in the back there of 18. Jeb caught him, got in the back of him, and then all the cars started to connect together. So it's been a little messy, but you just have to think with how close he has been. That win is out there, and maybe it's tonight, and it's the biggest one possible to go give him a chance to fight for a championship.
You just have to be close to the front here at the end, because I referenced Austin Hill won here in the spring. He was running 10th with like 10 laps to go, but when everyone started running into each other at the end, all of those lanes opened up. And so if you're into these guys that are in that must-win situation, this guy right here, Sam Mayer, you just have to be close at the end, because there's going to be a lot happening in the last 50 laps of this race.
You know, Mayer comes in 22 points below the cut line. They're not in a must-win, but, you know, most likely. But I always feel like you're almost better off in an elimination race to know you got to go out and win, especially at a
Hard
place
to be
like,
on the other side, yeah.
Well, at Martinsville, you know, depending on when the cautions come, there's a lot of ways to play games to get stage points, and then you're caught in that position of which way do I go? For them, you just know. Let's go win the race, and maybe tonight that makes the strategy call a little easier. So you look at Sam Mayer, and boy, things got out of sorts.
We had high expectations for him at the Roval.
Yeah, he won 2 in a row there coming into the race last month. But hey, they advance on to the round of 8, and you know, you talked about Sheldon Creed being caught up in that accident. Sam Mayer caught in it as well. In fact, he finished dead last week, and despite that, still comes in to the race here this evening, only 22 below the cut line, and he's been outstanding on short tracks this year, winning at Iowa.
He has been, and that deal at Talladega, remember they just went over the DVP there. That car probably could have run and got them a couple more points and put them in a way better position going here into Martinsville. But I would say 6 on the board, you'd think, oh, that's pretty positive. But speaking to Jason Trincheri yesterday, a funny thing about Sam Mayer, if you look at a lot of his wins in the last couple of years, it's when he's slow in practice. That's their best weekends. And the team was telling me yesterday, they're like, when we have a good practice, we're terrified. We don't know what's ahead of us. When we're out there outside the top 25 in practice, we know it's going to be a good day. So I think that's a little, you know, obviously a bit of joking around. It's good to see that pace. That's what they expected to probably have, to be up there in the top 10 speed-wise. But it is a funny thing about Sam Mayer in terms of practice and his team when they see him being fast. It could be scary.
You know, Sam Mayer's kind of a hot dog when he wins. He does the whole Superman celebration.
That's Jamie's favorite celebration.
Hot dog?
Hot dog, yeah. You know why I said that?
Oh, the Red Wieners.
Martinsville.
Oh,
minutes left. You can come in now or keep seeing where this goes here. Last lap was an 85. That's at 90. Justin ran an 86.
I need help from the 5/8 on. When I get to the 5/8, I just get numb in the front end, so I can't finish the cut. So therefore I have like lower roll speed, but also I'm pointed worse. I need to be pointed better and be able to run a little bit faster and still be able to point and shoot better. I don't need more drive. So did that help your entry or hurt it?
It probably made it worse as far as the bounciness.
Okay, let's undo that right front packer change. Get the left rear rubber out.
In the second group, a few of the fast cars got it on their first lap, but it was mostly second lap.
But the exit, I feel like I'm just kind of lacking on. The front wing row. Connected from the entry. Like, entry was a strong suit for us here in the spring, it seems like. We're just kind of disconnected. Copy.
Qualifying run. So going to be inverted from where he was in the springtime. I referenced the fact he started on the pole, won both stages, and led 100 laps. Going to have to come from the rear, and that's bigger for another reason impacting the championship race next weekend in Phoenix, James.
Yeah, and I think psychologically, like, you want to have momentum heading into Phoenix next weekend. You don't, if something happens because you start in the back tonight and you get caught up in a wreck early, like, I don't know, I just think about psychologically as you lead into that whole week, everything can bother you, and it's hard to look past it.
But I was just going to go down the road of you select pits at Phoenix based on how you qualify here at Martinsville, and the fact that they won't make a qualifying run means they will be fourth in line of the championship drivers to pick next weekend. I don't want to make too much of that, but you just feel like that is a team that can find the sweet spot in qualifying and take advantage of that. We're riding on board here with Brandon Jones.
I think they can overcome it. I just want to apologize to you. I knew where you're going with that, but I feel like all the technical things I let you explain. I didn't want to take that low-hanging fruit, so that's why I didn't
He had no idea. That's the honest answer.
Let's change the subject. Brandon Jones, tell me about this.
Let's listen.
If you want to.
Right on the verge of wheel hopping. You can, if you listen to the engine and the way the RPMs go down, and you saw him kind of slide up the racetrack the corner before, just right on the verge. When they talk about the brake bias, it's him getting that set front to rear where he wants it, and then when they come in the pits, they'll hit that with like a heat gun and just kind of see where the tips are, and they'll have a range or an idea of what the balance, what they want when he comes in.
Yeah, and they will tell you that heat will sort of show, hey, did you have a little bit too much front temp, which means, hey, you could probably get away with putting the brake bias a little further back, or vice versa. And I liked how you could see how he just started to dime in the corners a little bit as the rubber laid down. That's something you'll do here. You won't always just wrap that curve, but let's take a listen to Sammy Smith's radio.
Brakes seem good. I just feel like I'm lacking rear grip. Can't like release the brake like I want to, and then just like shear everywhere on exit. Kind of how we felt like the first start of the race last couple years.
I loved his first comment, because when you come to Martinsville, if you have brake issues when you unload, it's like your whole day is just shot. Like, it's just really hard to get that better. So the fact that he came on and he's like, look, the brakes feel good, and he honestly seemed pretty optimistic. His car balance wasn't perfect, but it was maybe what they expected. And there's trends and traits that every track, characteristics that these tracks have, and it just seemed like he's like, yeah, it's not exactly what I want, but it's good.
And it's great when you can relate it to earlier in the year or something else or a different race and say, hey, this is exactly how it felt.
Way different than later in the spring.
Crew chief's like, okay, we're in a pretty good spot in that race. We were in a position to win it.
Yeah.
So it makes me feel really good about where we are. And I think that always helps put it in context as to what the driver's reporting is. Hey, I felt this before, and this is when.
RCR won at Martinsville in the spring in the former Austin Hill. It was her 100th win all time. Riding on board with teammate Jesse Love, who comes in third on our playoff leaderboard, 40 points above the cut line, and in a really good position to move on to the championship 4. And that's big as this team builds momentum, because the announcement came this week. He'll be back in the 2-car next year with Wheelan as a sponsor. Great news for the second-year driver from California.
That shot on the right side of your screen, we see him get just a little bit loose right there. But as you watch the orange line that's in the middle of his wheel and how far that you have to turn the steering wheel here compared to any other track we go to. Maybe at a road course on a really slow corner you would turn it that far, but you have to turn the wheel here way more than you do anywhere else. And it's also, I always find it interesting that watch how far you it's like you drive in the corner and you get to the apex, and then you're like, nope, turn it even a little bit more, and it doesn't feel natural inside the car what you have to do there.
And part of that is, you mentioned and pointed it out there, the min speed point of these corners is not the apex. It's what's unique about this place.
It's like the 3/4 mark of the corner.
Exactly. It's like right before you get back to the throttle, which would be the exit. We would think of the exit the corner. That's the minimum speed point of the corner. So it's you drive that car you slow it down all the way around to there, and then you pick up the throttle. And so it's just what makes this place so difficult is that sort of feeling, and knowing that you can't even see that point when you first enter the corner. It's going to take a while till you can actually see it, slow down to that point, and then accelerate.
Carson Quapple comes in 11 above the playoff cut line. Driver 120th in practice right now.
I feel like I need some rear lateral, mainly. Like if I overdo my corner, I slide to the center with the rear first. But if I just run my normal corner, I'm tight. Just feel out of the track with the back. I don't know if I like that change. I felt like it took the left front out of the track there.
I thought he said something, he described it differently, but very similar to what his teammate Sammy Smith said. Sammy talked about it like shearing the rear, and I feel like he said that in just a different way. I'm not sure what he was referencing, like if I run my normal line, that what's different, I didn't pick up on all that. It's extremely hard at Martinsville. Like, the ideal practice here is to unload, pull out, run 20, 30 laps, whatever you want to run, and never come in, and just get your balance based on what you have in that one run. When you come in and let the tires cool down, you go back out, I think it's really hard to know, was the change better? Does the track have more rubber on it? Is it cleaner? Like, it's really hard to make changes here.
It's really hard to tell, like, as the track is evolving. And one of the things I feel like on the long run here is that you will slow down a ton, and just naturally, because the brake heat, the tires losing grip, you'll slow down, and when that naturally happens over the course of a run, you can kind of adjust to it. Yeah, you adjust to it well. When you go back out there and suddenly there's way less grip, and you're dealing with absolute fractions of a second and tiny inch differences in where you place that left front of the car, it takes some serious internal understanding to know exactly if that thing was different or not.
Really good runs last week at Talladega for non-playoff drivers, including this guy, Christian Eckes, came home fourth. And he was running really good here in the springtime when he made his first Martinsville Xfinity start. Got wrecked late. Swept the 2 truck races here a season ago, so you know he's quite capable, the driver from Collie. 23rd on the board. And I want to update our bumper here with a couple of minutes to go in practice. If you see a position highlighted in orange, that means that driver is participating now in Group 2. All Guyer Zilich highlighted in green, they're locked into the championship 4, and all those drivers you see in blue, other drivers trying to make their way into the championship race, still eligible for the title as they are a part of the playoff equation. I reference what happened to Eckes in the spring, very much in the hunt. They had played some strategy and then this.
Yeah, Mayer got on that rear bumper and didn't release him. Yeah, you're like, you got to let me get straight. There's nothing I can do. Eckes got his teammate Daniel Dyer
But you know, there was a discussion at Colleague after this, because the reason he was in that position was his teammate Daniel Dye put it 3 wide into turn 1 when they were the 2 cars on the newest tires driving through the field. It was a move that just didn't need to happen. It put Eckes in that awkward position on the exit of the corner, which eventually gets him wrecked by Sam Mayer. And I think that did necessitate a conversation at Colleague Racing amongst those team members to say, hey guys, it's not how we should race, especially in that position, because they had such newer tires. They were most likely going to drive up there to the top 5 pretty easily in the spring. I also went on a limb this week, guys. I picked Christian Eckes to win.
There you go. You picked him here? You picked him to go to the championship 4 before.
I did that. That didn't work out at all. I will admit, but I don't know why. I went on a limb and decided, hey, maybe he can win today.
Dylan?
Let's get a handling update on the 00 Sheldon Creed. They are the lowest of the playoff drivers right now.
But I feel like that made me tight, like right at the 3/4 mark if I'm in the rubber. But if I stay really tight to the curb, I'm okay. I just would really like to try to find something to help me on entry.
Hey, something, too, to note as practice concludes here. At the start of practice, the sun was out, a little bit warmer, maybe 5 degrees or so warmer. As the red and black flags are displayed here, it's cloudy and has gotten cooler. So maybe just a little bit more of a challenge for some of these crew chiefs to diagnose what their race car needs.
Well, and Dylan, you reference where he is and the slowest on the board of the playoff drivers, but I would also say there are only 3 playoff drivers in the top 10. And, of course, all the playoff drivers go in our second group. 6 of the top 10 in practice from group number 1. So track conditions and all that play a big role. Qualifying is where we're really going to find out who's in a good and bad spot entering tonight's race. Kim?
And College wheel hopped, couldn't save it, spun in practice, likely won't make a qualifying lap despite being locked into next week's championship 4. What does this mean for the rest of the day for you and the 88 team?
It's definitely not going to make it easier. You know, I don't really know what happened. As soon as I was on the brakes, I was wheel hopping, and I did what I could to save it, but just couldn't. So, yeah, we lose our pit pick next week, which honestly stings a little more than what the effects of it are today. I feel like our WeatherTech Chevrolet is as fast as Xfinity Mobile, and we'll have a good shot at it later today. It's just going to take a little more work.
There you have it. Connor Zilic likely not making a qualifying lap here today. Like he mentioned, affects their pit stall selection for that championship race next weekend in Phoenix.
You know, you said that they can come back from that, and I think about everything that Allgaier went through at Phoenix last year and won the championship. Oh, yeah. Don't put
left time.
Hear me on this? Check. No.
Leave the hood open for as long as you can, too. Andy, make both right side, hang on, let me look at this for qualifying.
降りるのがちょっと早すぎだからミドルで遅れちゃうからちょっと上からちょっとターン2の立ち上がりはアクセルちょっと前
bar down 2, and then pull 3 out of the left rear and 1 out of the right rear.
Yes, sir. About around the wedge, track bar down 1. He's on the up here. Fired off okay.
Practicing well, and I think that's a good sign for Sam Mayer. You see 6th right there, Brandon Jones in 12th. Creed even down in 22nd. Times are so close here. There's only about a 10th from 1st to 10th, which is very normal at Martinsville. And if the balance is off just a little bit on that very first run out, you can get off. So I wouldn't put too much stock in that or be too concerned with anything you see on the left.
1 lap pace wouldn't worry me. It's what it does at 20 laps, 30, 40 laps. That's where it matters.
What's up, Kim?
Well, as we look at that playoff grid, Carson Quapple plus 11 to the cut line. After practice, you feel like that you have the car that can put up the fight needed to find a championship 4 spot?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's still pretty early, right? But we worked on it a little bit there and made our Johnny Morris Bass Pro Shops Clarence Technology Chevrolet a little bit better, I think. The second run we weren't as good, but I thought the last run we made, we were really knocking some good laps out, and I thought the car was about as fast as Xfinity Mobile. So we'll see. We're going to see where we qualify. Hopefully, I honestly, I think this is going to be one of the more important qualifyings for me, just in the fact that we need to get stage points and stuff. But we'll see. I'm pretty comfortable with Martinsville, and I feel like we have the car to do it.
That is Carson Quapple. He mentioned he's pretty comfortable here at Martinsville. His crew chief, Andrew Overstreet, told me that he
Briscoe in the Cup Championship 4. We're ready for Xfinity Series qualifying. Here's Dylan Welch.
And Brandon Jones is one of the playoff cars and former winners here who is getting ready to qualify. Okay, what did your car do well there that gives you some confidence for the race and even qualifying later here in a bit?
I did think we were as fast as Xfinity Mobile on the long run. Now, obviously, we didn't throw up this big, massive number right off the bat, but made some really good adjustments, and I think we're really close on an entry to center. We're working on a couple things to try to get our exit of the corner a little bit better, but I love coming to this racetrack. I mean, it's such a blast. It's so nostalgia, right? It has this short track vibe and feel to it, so no better place than trying to get this thing locked in. I know we can do it. We've been so quick here for so many years now, and I have a feeling we're going to go contend for the pole here later with our Don Menard GR Supra. So hopefully we get it done, and I think that's going to be key for tonight, starting up front so you can hold track position.
All right, like the confidence, Brandon Jones and the Joe Gibbs Racing number 20 crew ready to go.
I mean, I like his thought. Play with the lead. Don't try to come from behind. Preston Pardus in the 50. 39 cars here this weekend. One will go home. And Pardus, one of those guys that doesn't run full time, so he needs to lay down a good lap.
Really interesting to see him lock it up on the entry to 1. Normally you see that in turn 3 because of the bump over there. It's like he was able to manage turn 3 much better.
You get 2 laps here, so that's key. You want to sort of maybe use the first one to get some heat and everything, and then see if the second will be quicker, tidy up some things from the first. That's exactly what he did there in turn 1. Didn't lock it up that time. Oh, but it gets a little bit curved there in 3 and 4. You don't want to do that too much.
27th quick in practice, and lap 2 is going to be faster for Pardus to 20:47.
You see him come down, he'll spike the brake pressure. And because it's coming to the green, coming on the green flag lap, the tires don't quite have the heat in them. Once you get to your second lap, you can use a little bit more brake, but it didn't look like he slid it that long. Ran a little quicker than he did in practice. That's going to be close for the 50 today.
Also missed the turn in there. You're supposed to turn in basically off the backstretch into the garage.
Well, he had a lot going on.
Yeah, he did.
He's probably trying to figure out what his lap time was.
He was hoping it was better.
Safe, yeah.
Second car out, Sam Hunt Racing, a pair of Toyotas in the field this weekend. Dr. Patrick Staropoli.
Yeah, he was good in practice. 11th overall.
I mean, 16th here in his debut in the spring, and I mentioned the fact they were 15th in that truck race last night. So it was a nice job here. Lap 120.
Oh, he missed the corner.
Yeah. He tried to just get a little bit more from the first lap to the second, which you will do. It should pick up speed, just for all the reasons we mentioned, heat in the tires, heat in the brakes.
And I know we reference this a lot. We talk about the rubber on the racetrack, but he got to go out and be in the first round of practice when the track was clean and actually ran a little slower here at qualifying than he did. And I think once we get 10, 15 cars in and the track gets cleaned up a little bit, that it's going to be better for those guys. A bit of a disadvantage to go out early. Kim?
And in the spring here at Martinsville, Taylor Gray arguably had the best race car on the racetrack. How much of today is about redemption?
Yeah, I mean, from spring to here last year at the truck, so I feel like this place owes me a few, but just have to stay focused and work on our car, and I feel like we're close to being as fast as Xfinity Mobile and really close to how we were here in the spring, so just got to qualify well here. Track position's huge, although we didn't qualify great in the spring, so not too worried about it, but again, it always makes your day a little easier.
Corey Day, quickest. He jumps right to the top with a 20:25 in front of Staropoli and Pardus.
That's how that car got down to the curb there. 1-2, and ended up just a little rev limiter. Yeah, oversped it a little bit to the center, but it just attached the curb well. Touches it a little bit through 3 and 4.
Lap 2's even better. 20:11 for Corey Day.
Good lap. I think you're going to need to be in the 19s if you're going to want to be on the pole. Like 1990s has been a good. Last couple of times we've been here, that's been right around where the pole has been, and that's a couple of tenths off.
Yeah, the first
Hopefully
couple
that'll hang
cars
on, but 2 tenths here is a long ways if they can get going that quick.
This place is really temperature dependent in terms of the speed that you'll see in qualifying. I think it could be faster than a 19.9. Just historically, when it's this cooler temps, you can get down to the mid-19s sometimes. So we'll see what we get to as we get to some of the faster cars later, but especially as the rubber gets picked up and just these cooler temps, we really have a lot of speed in this racetrack.
Is this the first of our sour candy cars right here? We've got
this isn't a candy car.
No, it's not. No, not.
This is just overplay.
Which is
not candy.
Okay,
that's all I know.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll update you on the candy bars. As a sour candy connoisseur myself.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, we're 6 days from Halloween.
That's true.
So you have to be ready and well prepared.
Honestly, I like chocolate.
I'm a chocolate guy too.
I knew there was chocolate, guys.
Yeah.
With a little crunch in it.
Here and on the wheel
Send
top.
all the sour candy
Coming
my
up.
way.
Austin Green, fourth of the four that have been on track 2055, Dylan.
Well, here's a sour candy car driver, Myatt Snyder, getting ready to climb aboard the DGM 91 today. So, okay, so you said, I'm going to put our truck on the spot. You said you wanted to see your moment in practice. We showed it live. What's it like here trying to push to the max and put a clean and fast lap together ultimately?
Well, Dylan, our car is almost as fast as Xfinity Mobile, our Sour Boys Chevrolet. So really proud of what the boys at DGM have brought for us today. And thankful to the support from Superior Essex and Treetop coming on board. Yeah, it is definitely sketchy here sometimes when you're trying to push the car. But, you know, I think we're only one adjustment away from being as fast as Xfinity Mobile. So really excited to see how it performs in qualifying. We're going to have ourselves a good day.
Good luck.
Jeremy Clements, third on lap one. Back-to-back DNFs for the driver from Spartanburg, South Carolina, but top 10 in our last short track race in the playoff opener in Bristol.
I feel like there's a Halloween theme. Am I right here again? I like it.
You're catching on. This car. Oh,
yes.
Oh, man. I was going to say, that car looks almost like an early...
Yeah,
They are on the app today.
I'd say Jeremy said what we thought. Yeah,
It didn't look good is what I was going to say. He said it a little bit differently, but the front end's way up in the air, almost like those early 2000s cars. You'd see them slam down the corners, and you see that front end pick up on the exit.
Oh, and leaving black marks.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not what you want to have happen.
Honestly, I think only the body work got into it was the Goodyear still on the tires.
I would assume if
You
you
usually
turn
you can
around,
get away
get
with that
back
in the
off
race.
pit
You don't want
road.
to do
I
that.
saw a little smoke
Practice.
there. Yeah.
Anyway,
Ooh, this would be a good lap to see what Butterbean can do.
Number
3 right there.
I'll be really happy.
Well, he and Corey Day were right there together in practice, second and third.
Oh, he is just sliding that car everywhere.
But the opening
25, yeah.
second.
For as much as he had going on, that was a decent lap right there.
And he's in the green.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Got a little better lap going here. Don't overdrive turn 3. See a lot of guys do that, have a good 1 and 2, then miss 3 and 4, but nice job right there. Looks like he gave up some on entry, gained it back on exit. It's a nice lap.
Heck of an effort. Brendan Queen, first driver in the 19-second bracket, 1992 for the driver from Virginia. Let's hear from Brennan Poole, Kim.
So, guys, there's sour candy, and then there's hazardously sour candy, like toxic waste, which is what Brendan Poole runs. So, sour candy is good, but a sour qualifying lap is not good. How do you keep your lap from being sour?
Well, you know, listen, I just love this place so much, so I'm not too worried about that. Had a car just as fast as Xfinity Mobile in practice, so we'll see what we can do. But Jamie Mack, I want to tell you, man, I got something new for you to try right here, okay? You said the hard candies were too sour in Indianapolis, but we got to get you some of these in the booth. We got to try it. It's awesome. But we're having a lot of fun down here. I have plenty of sour candy for everybody to try, so come on by and get some.
I love that. I will say that Parker and I both agreed. I don't know what the little balls were from that they brought us up.
I'm just going to let you go down this path yourself.
What were they called?
I can't remember what they were called, but they were really good. The Warhead style stuff.
Yeah, they were good. Yeah, they were really good. We're ready, Brennan. Bring it up.
There was a 0% chance I was going to bail you out.
I wanted him to just keep going down there, trying to describe them.
Anthony Alfredo started here last year. He's third right now.
Now that looks gross. I'll be honest. What is that?
Oh, I'll eat it.
Dylan, what do you have?
I'll eat it.
Zaps?
Brennan's wife just gave this to me. So these are toxic waste zaps, shockingly sour. So he's got a whole Rolodex of candy.
Hey, how great would that have been to say trick or treat and have the household just come out with a box of those zaps? Amazing.
Hey, Dylan looks like a hand model down there.
He did. He looked like he was on the Price is Right.
Perfect.
Come on down. Fastest in practice, Ryan Sieg on track.
A lot of pressure when you're the quickest in practice. We've seen this 39 car be really good. I think going out in that first group has played a role in that.
Second lap has been good for most everybody.
Yeah.
Set a baseline here, and he's really not pacing to do that.
Well, and I like to see it trend as you watch that first lap. If you see it continue to get better, it means the heat's coming in the tires. You see, got into turn 1.
It's going to be close.
Yeah, still stuck with him right here.
Way better, way tighter. He touched the curb on the entry of 3 last time. Doesn't do it this time. Oh, this is good. Gets the power down.
What a lap 2. Ryan Sieg leads the way, 1990. Top 3 in practice, Sieg, Queen, and Day. Top 3 right now in qualifying. Ryan Sieg, Brendan Queen, and Corey Day. Kim? Nope, let's go to Dylan.
We'll jump in here, Adam. We got Brad Perez, who is in the SS Greenlight 07 this weekend. Okay, I have to ask, you've got the Miami Dolphins logo on your helmet here, so are you a Dolphins fan, or what's the story here? You got the colors kind of today. Need some green.
Kind of. Shout out to Eric Weiss, my sponsor, for having the correct colors there. But, yeah, the Dolphins are struggling this year. I'm not a Dolphins fan because I want to be. I'm a Dolphins fan, kind of born into it. But hopefully they do better this week versus the Falcons, and I hope I do better, and hopefully I'm as fast as Xfinity Internet today. We'll figure it out, hopefully, like we figure out our front office.
There we go. I like that. Always good to have Brad in the Xfinity field, and good opportunity for him this weekend.
Yeah, top 25 here. His best finish, 23rd, I think, is his best ever finish at Martinsville. So Brad has done some positive things when he's come here to race. Ryan Ellis, a little quicker on lap 2, 2017, puts him 4th.
I think Brad was involved in the Mazda race the other night. Maybe he was spotting something like that. So
you talk about
that was a race.
Talk about a disaster the last couple of laps. Those guys just
dead heat at the line for that Mazda MX-5 Cup race the other night at Martinsville.
Weston,
.003 was the difference officially,
or was it Jeremy Fletcher? Yeah, one of those two.
It was awesome.
Ooh. Connor Mozak really loose, coming to the green right there. I feel like if you have that on your out lap, it's about just trying to put some heat in the tire on this lap. You know you've already given up a lot of pace. Starts over right here again.
Yeah, just use this almost as like an exploratory lap. Feel out the car and then buckle down and settle in for lap 2.
Try to get a good run off of turn 4, and then it all starts right here. See that tracker on the bottom. A little bit better this lap.
The car was tight in the center. You saw it just couldn't quite rotate around the curb there. Had to hesitate getting back the throttle.
Thought if he could have a good 3 and 4.
About the same. Jump the same on both ends, it looked like.
Yep. Unable to get the traction he needed. 5th for Mozak. Kim?
Well, if we look at last year's race, it was Parker Retzlaff on the pole, albeit with a different team. So how do you put together a perfect qualifying lap at Martinsville?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all just so close. I mean, it was,
where we end up.
Thousands of a second last year to get the pole over, actually it was like 5 or 6 cars that were all really close last year. So you have to basically do a perfect lap, and hopefully a visual pack number 4 Golf Run Racing will be, as fast as Xfinity Internet again, and we can give another chance at another pole.
Well, he's been really good in qualifying before, and we had that nickname for him, Jetsloff, as you see Justin Bonsignor here, who's filling in for William Sawalich. He was supposed to be in this race in the 19. They made that change of Eric Almirola getting in the 19 as they fight for the Owners' Championship, but still gets an opportunity. William out with concussion-like symptoms.
Got a decent second lap going. You see less than a 10th. He can put 3 and 4. Clipped a little bit of curb there. That looked like it cost him much lap time, though. Decent lap. 20 flat, basically, for Justin. Yeah, well, I asked him earlier in the year, I'm like, or when I found out he wasn't doing this race in the 19 car, I'm like, what do you why wouldn't you want to do that, knowing the success you've had in the modified series here? And he's like, well, because of the championship and the way everything's going, just trying to do the right thing for the team with Eric being in the car. But this is, it's an unfortunate situation for William, but great chance for Justin to get to race at a track that he loves being at.
From one Toyota to another, Dean Thompson out in the 26. If you go back and watch the race in the spring and watch the first 150, 200 laps, and you see all the drivers that got beat up and received damage, and then you look at the top 10, you're like, there is no way that driver finished there. Thompson, one of those. I mean, he was involved in several moments on track. I think he was a lap down at one point, but found his way back to the top 10. Lap 1 for him, 20:62. That's 12 for the 12 that have taken speed. Needs to pick it up here.
It doesn't look bad for the pace to be off right there. It didn't look like it was not too many lockups. He got all he could on the exit of turn 4 right there.
Put a credit card between him and the wall. 8th for Thompson.
And it looks cool, but that's not usually the mark of a fast lap at Martinsville, to be that close to the wall on the exit of 4. It means you just didn't quite get the car rotated around the curb the way you'd wanted. You're going to end up using more racetrack. It means you're struggling to get back to the throttle, and it all just compounds to sap away lap time.
This would be a great guy for Sieg to be able to reference off of exactly what the track's going to have in it today. This guy, Taylor Gray, so close to winning when we were here earlier in March. We know how good the Gibbs cars are here in general.
See that tracker, and if lap 1 is this good, then you have to feel really good about his chances, because every driver's picked up on lap 2 with the exception of Jeremy Clements, who caught the wall.
I like the trend of the tracker, too. It gives up a little bit on entry and then gains most of it back on exit.
The way that car just on lap 2, most of them have.
But the way that car just gets down to the curve so well, it looks so planted.
Oh, he missed the bottom right there just a little bit. Gonna pay a little bit of a penalty on exit. Still gonna be a decent lap for him in 3rd. 1998. Sieg's got to feel good. I mean, based on what we've seen the last couple of times we've been here, that 1990's right in the range, and that was a really good car right there. That, just a little bit slower, Kim.
His second lap was 1,000th of a second quicker. Kim?
Well, Christian Eckes is a 2-time Truck Series winner at Martinsville, but bigger than that, Parker Kligerman has chosen you as his race pick for tonight's race. So do you have the car that can unfortunately prove him right?
Oh man, I mean, Parker, that's great. We need that. After this year, we could use that. But I think our Celsius Camaro is okay. It's not quite as fast as Xfinity Internet, but Alex and the guys made some good adjustments for practice. Hopefully this puts us in a good spot for qualifying, and then even better for the race. So we'll see what tonight comes. I always love coming to Martinsville.
Whoa! Takuma! Wow! Maybe it looked like he was just trying to get a lap in, and then the thing got up underneath him on the exit of the corner.
That is by far the most sideways car we've seen all day.
Now we know that one car will go home. Top 32 lock in on speed. You beat 7, you're in. Takuma Koga is now 13th of the 14 that have taken time.
See, look how tight it is. You see the wheels just cranked, and then he got on the gas, and it over-rotated. He stays in the throttle. Gosh, that's awesome.
Oh, the worst part is it hurts the next lap as well, so it hurts everything, but that's a drift right there.
I used to roll out onto the racetrack.
Awesome drift.
So like the first 2 NASCAR hashes on the wall there, you see.
Next up, Myatt Snyder. Just talked to him not long ago. We talked about what a good little racer he is, especially when he comes here to Martinsville.
Well, he said they were just one adjustment away. He thought of being extremely good. You got your chance here qualifying to see if they've made the right adjustment on that car. Sounded like he had a little bit of a wheel spin there on exit. He got to the throttle and spun the tires a little bit on exit.
8th on lap 1.
2023.
Looking way better here in the
nice
second
little
lap.
pickup.
See if he can get the exit out of 4.
Hold on 1 second.
Couldn't quite get back to the throttle there. Had to hesitate.
That's a good pickup, though.
Jumps to 5th, 20.068. Just misses the 19-second bracket.
Too deep. You definitely don't want to go in there 2 car lengths too early, though. So just something to think about. You got to nail the entry bolt.
He'll feel good about that lap. It's a nice little pickup from what he had in practice. Looked to me like 3 and 4 was just the struggle for him. I thought he had a really good 1 and 2.
You saw he was about to turn in there and called out Preston Parnas for not going down to the inside garage. They actually have the cars parked on pit road, which is unusual. They usually have you, for the last couple of years, we've gone into the garage there. So Myatt, having done many of these races, was about to do the same thing. I wanted to correct myself because I did call out Preston earlier.
Adam and I saw that. We didn't want to say that.
Well, yeah, you guys were on it.
There was, of course.
Brendan Queen currently second. Here's his teammate Daniel Dye, second of the Colleague cars. Good opening lap, puts Dye 6th. 2011.
That car looks good. Stayed late entry. Was able to turn down. Looked like it rolled around the corner really well. All these guys, as they get into 3, want to hear a little bit of rev limiter and knowing that they had a good exit. You see, chasing it. Got to the gas a little early.
Putting on a show. Stay 6th, that opening lap the best for Daniel Dye, and only the second driver that fails to improve on lap 2, and here's the reason why, dancing off of turn 4.
Similar to Takuma there, Koga just, you see his hands going all the way out to the right. Just when you try to get back to the throttle a fraction too early, it loses rear traction, and then from that point you're just chasing the car on the exit, and you're thinking, oh, I think I saved it, I got a good lap, and they come on the radio like, yeah, that was slower. Okay, at least it looked cool.
Mason Maggio on track as we go to double.
About double.
Sam Mayer will be the first of the playoff cars to qualify here at the end of the order. Okay, you just said your car in practice felt pretty good on the short run, so how do you translate that into a qualifying lap?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone in the Haas factory team has done a really good job of bringing really fast race cars and short tracks to the season. So this is obviously the short track we go to, so we should be pretty good. We ended really good at night during the spring. The car was hopefully as fast as Xfinity Mobile once the lights turned on. So hopefully that kind of translates again to tonight. But yeah, you never know what you're going to get at this place. But I mean, a short run's definitely going to happen at some point.
Maggio 13th, 20:45 for him.
Steve Latardo, he says, in every long run there is
a short run. Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention to it, but I'm just assuming that. Well, Parker was.
See, he's confused as well. It's what we've done for years. They changed it on us.
45 is Josh Williams. This gives us an opportunity to celebrate what Alpha Prime did last week. 2 cars in the top 10, 3 in the top 15 at Talladega. Williams, one of those up there, had a nice run.
Josh got into turn 1 just a little bit deep.
Blew off that car out there.
Had to chase it to the track, and not only is that not the quick way around, but if you look at that rubber, if you get your right side tires up into that rubber and you get it on, it makes 3 and 4 tough trying to get those cleaned off.
I think we lost the spring rubber right there. Charles shoot out the back.
18 of 18 on lap 1. See what the pickup is for Josh Williams on lap 2.
Yeah, we'll race good. We'll keep working hard, man. Practice, I didn't do a very good job of adjusting in practice, but
you know, he had the fastest lap.
There it is. By the way, that's your spring rubber. Yeah, well, I think he probably felt like the handle he might have changed if this was actually in the spring, or sometimes they're just sitting sort of attached. But that if you had that in the spring, it is going to handle different. It's going to be tighter if it was coming out of the right rear. So team will want that back.
You know, he had the fastest lap of the race last Saturday at Talladega. And that's a stat sometimes that doesn't get enough promotion. But when you think about the fact that it's worth a point and how tight things are with an appearance in the championship 4 on the line, it could be big here tonight. Here's the team car, 44, Brennan Poole.
Had a really good turns 1 and 2 right there. I thought he was going to have a little better lap, but not bad. 6th overall right now, 2010 on his first lap. See if those tires will come in a little bit for him. Really good. Oh, yeah. Turn 2 right here. Look at this lap he's got going. Only half a tenth off. See if he can put it all together in 3 and 4. We've seen so many guys get loose down here on the exit. Going the right way. Stay hooked up. It's going to be a great lap for Brennan. 5th overall right now. 20-1.
Got to be a little patient with it.
Survived to finish 4th here in the springtime. Back to Kim Kuhn.
And Jesse Love, another one of our playoff drivers, plus 40 the cut line. But as we look at qualifying here, what's the most challenging part about putting a good qualifying lap together at Martinsville?
Yeah, I think it gets more technical when the track's cold, right? So obviously the track's be as fast as Xfinity Mobile, but it's also really easy just to lock up tires. So the tires aren't up to temp for most of the qualifying session. So you know, I have a game plan to kind of get around that and not run into that problem, because I've ran into that problem so many times. But yeah, we definitely got a lot of work to do after practice. Hard to find the feel I'm looking for right now, but obviously have a long rest of the day to figure that out.
For the wind-up lap.
That's such a great point Jesse said there, that the tires are never up to temp. Really, during the qualifying session and practice here, you obviously start the pressures a little bit lower, and it takes like 6 or 7 laps for it to really feel good. When they put it in qualifying trim, they put a bunch of air in the tires, and it feels terrible for 2 laps, but you go about a half second quicker, but inside of the car, it just doesn't feel good.
Garrett Smithley on track, driving the 14 for SS Greenlight Racing. 12th last Saturday at Talladega, 13th here in qualifying. And we talked about Alpha Prime. Saturday was really good at Talladega. for SS Greenlight Racing. The 12th place finish for Smithley. The 07 and Nick Lights finished 11th. They put both their cars
pretty
in the
good.
top
The first
12.
lap
good
really
day
tight. The second
for
lap
that
came to it.
organization.
Still just a titch tight, but really solid.
Now going to get into the
That
car.
was a 30. We're 13th right now.
Good job, everybody.
Off and scrubs as hard as they can, but I highly doubt they get so much heat in it. Like, you could probably spin the rears a little bit as you launch off, and then what I would do personally is get up to speed a little bit through second gear and then hit the
This
brake,
weekend?
shake to the front and back and forth, like little left and right pretty quick. That, to me, always
When you leave pit road, like, it all just happens so fast at Martinsville, and that's why the tires struggle to get up to speed, because you literally get about 3 seconds of a corner before you're on the clock, and it's one of the most challenging qualifying laps you have all year long, not just because of how tight the field is, but just trying to get heat in those tires and push them right to the edge, but don't overslip it.
I always appreciate how Denny Hamlin comes out of the pits at this place, and he'll take it real slow, work the car back and forth down the back edge.
That first lap.
Basically throw away the first lap. Be surprised. It wouldn't be surprised to see some of the faster cars later on.
more bias in the front for qualifying. So, something to think about.
Yeah, my only concern with that is locking up.
Yeah, of course. I know the 26 did it and a few others as well, so I hear you.
I got you, buddy. Got me?
Earlier this year, 23rd.
10-4, high rod. Do your thing here.
What's the, just still the, whatever, low 9?
Is where he came home, making a 7th start in 2025.
Brad's such a cool guy. It's always great to see him get these opportunities in the car. We've mentioned it many times before, but he works about 100 different jobs in the sport. He's always all over the place, whether it's a tire guy, a spotter, driving. It's a little curve there.
A few years ago at Portland, he was going over the wall for one team, and a driver
He got in a car.
had to get out, and Brad got in the car.
Wow.
So, I mean, he can do it all, and sometimes he wears multiple hats, including driver and over into the show.
Yeah, 2024. Good lap.
Down to Dylan.
And catching up with Justin Allgaier, who, of course, has already punched his ticket to Phoenix next week. So what is the main goal for you guys this weekend of what you want to accomplish, just to kind of keep momentum and everything up headed to next week?
I mean, it's easy to go in, right? Coming to Martinsville here with the pressure being off. I think the last 6 years I've come here and had to qualify our way into Phoenix and not be locked in. And it's difficult. It's frustrating. I mean, we saw it last night with the Truck Series, right? It's that battle of a point or two. So I'm really proud of what our team's been able to accomplish this whole year. Just how good our program is. And in practice, our Jerry Logistics Chevrolet was really good. Honestly, one of the best cars I've had here at Martinsville. So now we just got to go out there and execute all night. We saw in practice with my teammate, the fine line of going fast and being over the line is so minimal, and I think that the field's gonna pay that price tonight. Unfortunately, I think in some aspects. So tonight may not be all about being as fast as Xfinity Mobile, but being there at the end with 4 fitters on it, I think we got a good shot of doing that.
The further you get closer to center.
Make his 8th appearance in the championship 4. Our reigning champ Justin Allgaier already locked in. Nick Sanchez missed the round of 8 by 9 points, qualifies 6th. There's Jeff Burton in the 27th. Virginia's own, and he wants to do something all the other Burtons have done, and that's win at Martinsville. Uncle Jeff won here in an Xfinity car in 1990. His dad Ward did it in 93. His cousin Harrison did it 5 years ago. And by the way, today Ward's 64th birthday. Happy birthday to the man that won the Daytona 500 in 2002.
No better birthday gift that you could get Dad than a clock maybe today.
Lap 1, 6.
Good lap. Really good lap.
His first looks good. Pole came here.
Look at that exit.
No more on entry.
Give me some green.
Got a lot of speed in this 27.
Spoke too soon, but still a really good lap.
He gave up a little bit on entry, but got some of it back. Still
the 3rd.
Yeah, great lap right there. He's going to want turns 3 and 4 over again.
Yes,
no
he
doubt.
is.
Like
that braking zone, he's like,
no doubt. Just overshot a little bit, guys.
You know he felt it coming out of 2. He's like, oh, this is a good one.
Yeah, that's right.
And just,
no. Good track for him. Top 10, 2 of the last 4 here at the Paperclip.
And then it's too loose on throttle.
And Adam Austin Hill's the most recent winner in the Xfinity Series and the most recent winner at Martinsville Speedway. But you have complete freedom this weekend, nothing to lose. What kind of benefit does that give you as a driver?
I think it gives you a lot of benefit on our Loma Industrial Chevrolet. The entire race team, everybody at RCR, ECR. We came with a little bit different package than what we won here in the spring race. We knew that we had a decent car here, but it wasn't as fast as Xfinity Mobile. So we had to go to work, make the car better. I feel like everything that we talked about in Victory Lane and the things that we talked about leading up to that next week, we hit on pretty good in practice, but we're still missing a little bit just right across the center. This place is so tough, and it's so hard to run a good lap here and run fast laps and be consistent every lap. But I feel like we have a really good package tonight. It's just going to be all about Sandoval, the chaos, the trouble, everything else that's going to be going on. But it is nice coming here and not having to worry about the owner's points thing. We already know we're locked in, so we get to go have some fun.
21 and 19 already locked in to be a part of the Owners' Championship. Meanwhile, Thomas Annunziata completes his qualifying effort. 9th on the board for him. Really nice job for a team that brings in momentum. Leland Honeyman driving that car last weekend at Talladega, finished inside the top 10.
It turns so fast, then I can't keep up with it. You know what happens then. Then
Jab up there in third. And if you weren't with us earlier, you see it in the graphic announced earlier today here at Martinsville that Harrison will drive for Sam Hunt Racing in the 24 car full-time in 2026. The O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, leaving AM Racing at the end of the campaign.
good first lap.
Top 5. You think back to Iowa, that incredible run that he had, and kind of put this group of short tracks all together as he's putting together a spectacular lap. Don't overdrive 3.
He wants to track.
He's got to go. Oh, tracker is so much fun to watch.
A Ford at the top. Another Ford
Great
at the top
lap.
in front of it. Harrison Burton now leads in qualifying. 19.843.
Yeah, he'll be thrilled with that lap.
Pretty good. A little bit tight center, but pretty decent. Copy that.
We agree.
He had a little bit wider entry.
Really good.
Backed it up a little bit, didn't he?
Talk a lot about Talladega and some of the non-playoff drivers that delivered. Here's another one. Blaine Perkins, fresh off his career best. 6th place finish in Central Alabama. His teammate up there in the 4th position right now, Jeb Burton.
Been some good highlights for Blaine throughout this season.
4 top 10s. Yeah. Man, it's a career best for him when you talk about results over the balance of a season.
Just too much speed to the center there. 3 and 4. Hopefully he was able to get a good run.
Yeah, not bad.
Here to start lap 2.
15 on lap 1.
And 1 and 2 looks really good. Looks really good right here.
Water temp 225.
Tidying up into 3 this time. Stayed near the curb. He does.
Off to Little. See if he can gain it back. To the line. Solid effort. Blaine Perkins is 8th.
Your first
It's
one.
a good pickup. You know, it's the type of thing you see throughout this qualifying when you have that first lap just not quite go your way. How can you get that out of your mind, recalibrate, nail the next lap? That's exactly what he did.
A couple of more non-playoff drivers. And then we'll get into those 8 drivers running for the championship and the 2 alive for the owner's title. Parker Retzloff won the pole here last year.
If this car is even halfway there, keep an eye on this lap. He can do it. This young man can get the speed out of it. And this is a good first one. Loses a little bit off of 4, but looks really good in 1 and 2.
8th on lap 1, so if that's any indication, he's going to have a chance to put it close to the top.
Really hugged the curb there in 1 and 2. Stays within a 10th. It's going to be all about this 3 and 4. Can he get to turn better than the first lap? Back to the throttle.
Really good effort. Parker Retzloff up to 4th on the board. 1996 for the driver that hails from the state of Wisconsin.
Yep. Great lap.
Back there. No,
on the board right now, Brendan Queen from Team Colleague. Here's Christian Eckes.
Yeah, and I think what we're starting to see is you look at the track, a lot of that rubber we saw earlier on has been picked up. So this track is just continuing to pick up speed as we get into some of the faster cars as well and get towards the playoff drivers.
Here's your guy to win.
Hey, let's see what he's got here.
A lot of pressure.
Look good in 1 and 2.
Yeah, his teammate Butterbean in third right now at a 1992. See what Christian can put together. Looks good and solid. About 2/10 off. Gonna need a little bit more speed.
Saw a quick flash of green.
Right on the curve, though.
Good
Looks
down
really
to 2.
nice.
It's all about 3 and 4.
Lap 1, 10th for Eckes.
Oh, we went up the track a little bit there. We get him back on exit.
Comes back to 4th.
Yeah, good lap.
Pretty good.
19.934 for Christian Eckes, the man that swept the races here last year in the Craftsman Truck Series.
Now that that's public, I in no way was rooting for him during that lap, I swear.
And now we get into the playoff drivers. 10 to go. 8 in the Drivers' Championship. 2 in the Owner's Title chase. And the first out, Sam Mayer, who enters tonight 22 below the playoff cut line. There's top 5 here in the spring. Oh, 1 on the short track at Iowa.
All right, gonna have to regroup right here. We talked about it. Don't overdrive turn 3. Try to get the best run you can.
And it puts a lot of pressure.
Much better. It does put a lot of pressure on you.
When you really mess up the first lap, it puts all the pressure on this lap right here. He's 6th in practice.
God, he's loose. You see him turn in, twice. Hit the curb right there. It's going to be a frustrating lap for Sam Mayer.
You know what I would say, though? He's raced really well here, got good results, has not been tremendous in qualifying. His starting position really defines where he finishes. And he'll be outside the top 15 when we go green tonight. 16th is where he ends up, 2015.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy at that. That's going to put him deep in the 20s. And then the biggest fear is just simply being caught up in something maybe not of your own doing. When you're deep in the pack like that, we saw restart issues last night in the truck race. It could be just a stack up on a restart, knock the radiator in, and that's your night done.
But, 22 out, he could point in, right, if some of those other guys have problems. But when you qualify back there, you might already know now. We got a race to win tonight. They may already be thinking that anyway, as we've talked about all the different strategies. But where you qualify can certainly play a big role in how you manage this race. Here's his teammate, Sheldon Creed. We know he is in a must-win. Enters tonight's race at -41.
Well, knowing how rough his teammate's lap was right there, you'd want to hope he had a little time to adjust air pressure and do some things to counter that.
13th on lap 1 for Creed.
Oh, to wait a long time to get to the gas right there, but still got a really good lap going right here.
Execute 3 and 4. Going to be in a good spot.
Gosh, that looks better than the time showing right there. Great race
for Creed. 500s off the Harrison Martin lap.
1989. That's P2 so far.
What? All you can do is you watch him working the wheels back and forth. You might drag the brake a little bit here, try to create just a little bit of wheel spin, kind of overturn the car there to slide the front tires, push the gas down, and hope when you get out here to 1 that you don't have that lockup, maybe not overdrive it. Always took it a little easy the first lap. Now you got a really good sense of what your car has. So he's about a 10th off right here. Try to adjust on this lap for what you saw in the first lap. You saw a little brake bias adjustment right there. It's probably a little bit loose in. Oh, he missed the bottom. He was a little bit back right there, but
some of that could be what he was trying to fix with the brake bias, but the straightaways are so short you can only get a half or quarter turn there to really affect the car.
Opening lap fastest for Brandon Jones. He's 7th, the best Toyota. Top 3 or 4s, then 3 Chevrolets, followed by Jones, Jeb Burton, Gray, and Bonsignor round out the top 10. From one Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota to another. Here's Eric Almirola, swept the races here a season ago.
You know he'll be good. what all the stats tell us. He was remarkable last season at this place. And they're chosen the tracker even on lap 1. Really good 1 and 2.
Been a great track for Joe Gibbs Racing
curb right
in
there.
general.
I think he was a little bit loose on entry. Maybe his white turned in early, or it just turned so well that he got down too quick.
But he is the fastest Toyota, third on lap 1, 1990 for Almirola.
Well, that looked ugly.
It was a wide exit.
It looked ugly, but the tracker says it's going to be okay.
He's right there in the green.
Now back to
red. Off the turn 4 and back to the line. Second for Almirola.
It's hard. It's hard to make an ugly lap fast here.
Oh, yeah.
Normally they have to look good in order to put it together. He was certainly high and a little wide on exit of turn 2, but great lap by Eric.
Zilich not going to make a qualifying run after the incident in practice. So 5 cars to go. First of those, Sammy Smith comes into this race 11 points below the playoff cut line. 2 times he's been a runner-up at Martinsville.
That did not feel good coming to the green. You saw him miss the corner and wash up a little bit there. That's not typically you don't try to run high to build up a big lap of speed coming to Martinsville. It's all about just getting in a rhythm, kind of feeling where your car is, and you see the lap time is not there for the 8 car, and it's getting worse as they run.
And that's exactly how this car looked in 1 and 2 on that first lap. So now it's all about just recalibrating the best you can, knowing what the situation is at hand. Adjusting, which he did there in 1 and 2, now keeps it within a tenth of the pole. Little rev limiter, you like to hear that. Don't overdrive it. Oh, it just looks tight, and that's why he had to use so much track on the exit. Gets that sort of snap loose there late.
Going to start outside the top 10. 12th is where Sammy Smith sits on the board right now. With 4 to go, first up, Jesse Love.
Here's the Denny Hamlin approach. A little bit. He gets going even sooner.
Love won the pole last Saturday, Talladega Super Speedway. I'll have that #1 pit stall here tonight.
You see how loose that car was?
No grip.
Just trying to get some heat in the tires. Gosh, you can almost hear wheel hop right there.
See the shutter on the camera.
As soon as he got on the brake. See again a brake bias adjustment. Trying to counter for that wheel hop that he had into 1. I feel like I heard it 3 again. Not a good lap time right there for Jesse Love. 27th overall.
Wow.
When you need a major pickup on a little curb.
It's still not going to be good for him. Comes in 40 above the playoff cut line. You just want to qualify well, get some stage points and lock in, and now
it's all about this
way behind it.
He's going to have his work cut out for him. 18th right now. Not going to be happy with that lap at all. And he's going to be right in the middle of it, Adam.
After lap 1, you almost take 18th, you know?
Yeah.
3 to go. Carson Kvapil coming your way next.
You can see the frustration almost right there. He knew.
So Kvapil goes, Allgaier and Hill.
That was a really good 1 and 2 for the first lap.
The car looks really smooth there. You see it getting to the curb just at the right point. A little bit of a slide out of the back there. Only a 10th off, though. I heard rev limiter into turn 1. Haven't heard that all day long. Gotta wonder if they're setting that a little lower.
Look at that in the green.
Great lap going here. Oh, you hear that all over the rev limiter getting into 3. Can you get a good exit here? It's going to be close.
Spring. Right now. Wow. 5 thousandths of a second. The difference between Kvapil and Harrison Burton.
Even got Harrison to be laughing a little bit. He just beat him by that small amount. But that was a great 2 laps by Carson Kvapil. You think about the pressure here coming in just 11 points above the cut line. That was a big, big lap by Carson Kvapil. A big statement.
2 to go. Allgaier, the first of those. Won the race here at Martinsville in 2023.
Little rev limiter into 3. Steering cars are hooked up. That was a really smooth 3 and 4. He's rewarded. Same place that Carson Kvapil was on his first lap.
Feel pretty good right now if I'm Harrison Burton. He's watching the exact same thing that we can see here. That tracker.
Good lap 2 for Allgaier. Takes him up to 4th.
He shook him off like a pitcher.
He's like, this is real.
Didn't like what the catcher was throwing and giving him there.
You know, the lap for Burton was faster than the pole here in the springtime and the race here last fall. And we'll see if it holds up. He knows he's going to start on the front row, but can he hang on to the pole? Last car out in qualifying, Austin Hill.
Austin Hill was 16th in practice, so wasn't a guy that seemed like he had a lot of short-run speed. And he referenced they didn't think they had the best car here, even though they won. We were here earlier this year, but a tracker looking pretty good for lap 1 right here.
Pretty friendly start, huh?
Yeah, struggled to get on the exit corner, maybe overdrove the entry.
Oh, you saw the counter steer there. The wheels went right for a second on the entry.
And have some work to do if he's going to knock Harrison off the pole.
Lap 1, 17th for Hill.
He's committed to turn 1. He drives in there so deep. Oh,
it's going to be close. It's all about down into here.
Oh, he's going to have to slide a little bit.
Back to the throttle. It's going to need a ton to come back his way. Not quite.
Hill jumps to 6th on the pole. Harrison Burton. It's his first career pole and his 107th start, Kim.
Yes, it got him.
That's right, and he had to sweat through watching all those other cars make their qualifying run. But you and I talked in practice just the importance of finishing this year strong. What does a pole do just for your confidence and also for AM Racing?
It's huge. We qualified 5th here earlier in the year and felt like we had a pretty good balance, and just huge deal for us, right? A small team and showing a lot of fight through a lot of adversity, and just a huge thank you to Dex Imaging, Dead On Tools, Ford Performance, or Ford Racing now. It changed it up on me, but just kind of those core guys that have stuck with me through all the ups and downs of my career. Great opportunity for us to now go, lead this race, set the pace, kind of take care of our tires. So, yeah, go try and be as fast as Xfinity Mobile the whole run here. And I don't know, is that my first career Xfinity pole? I think me and my wife were talking about that on the way here. I need to get one of those, so worked out good.
Fire off speed is one thing, and getting the pole. What can this car do if we see long runs here tonight?
Yeah, the end of the run in practice, I was super happy with the long run. I think we were running like 60s, and that's kind of what we ran to fire off. So hopefully it transfers over. Obviously a big day tonight swing coming for us. Everyone at AM has done a good job of doing their homework, obviously, and we've prepared for that transition, and hopefully we can go and do well tonight.
Harrison Burton will lead the field to green here tonight at Martinsville Speedway. Dylan.
And next to him on the front row, Kim, is Carson Kvapil, qualifies 2nd, the highest qualified, of course, of the playoff car. So how big is that for helping to accomplish what you guys want to accomplish tonight?
Yeah, it's pretty big, honestly. I knew we had a good car in practice. These guys brought me a car as fast as Xfinity Mobile today, but I knew we were good in practice into the run, but I didn't think our fire-off speed was the greatest. So the qualifying is probably the biggest thing I was worried about, and as everyone knows, qualifying up front really helps out with getting stage points and stuff right off the bat. So to be able to go out there and there was some stuff I could have done better, but I feel like overall it was a great lap, and the car was doing exactly what I wanted it to. Good lap by Harrison there. That was pretty good, impressive by him, but no, it's good. I'm excited going into Martinsville tonight. I'm really comfortable with this racetrack, and we've had a really good car the last few times here. So we'll see if we can bring the Johnny Morris Bass Pro Shops Clearance Technology Chevrolet up towards the front here.
All right, Carson has had a lot of confidence coming into this race already, and this certainly should help give him even more going into tonight.
First career start here last spring, finished 4th, started on the front row earlier this year. And starting on the front row again, Carson Kvapil next to Harrison Burton as we go green this evening on CW.
Great qualifying effort there by Parker Retzoff to be in the top 10. We know how fast he is at these short tracks, looking to finish the season strong.
Brandon Jones, one of those guys that we feel like might have to win to get in. Got a decent starting position. And Jeff Burton, see that right beside him? Trying to get a big win on Dad's birthday.
That'd be so cool. Jesse Love's got some work to do. Came in here 40 points above the cut line, but that those 2 laps in qualifying were not to his liking at all.
I'm already nervous for Jesse Love.
Oh, no.
Because of the situation they are in. Connor Zilic had the incident in practice, doesn't make a qualifying run. He will start at the rear. 39 cars here, 1 goes home. Preston Pardus fails to qualify. So let's zoom in and look at where the playoff drivers start. We talk about the headliner, and that being Carson Kvapil. He comes in 11 above the cut line. Sammy Smith, 11 below, starts 15th, and that's going to be the battle we watch as far as collecting the much-needed stage points.
They're everywhere. I feel like historically you see those guys all grouped together.